Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our Gurudev. Welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. We are continuing our reading of Canto 1, Chapter 15. The Pandavas retire timely, and we are on verse 41. Thank you all so much for coming. I offer my humble obeisances to all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And I humbly pray for your blessings in order to do this service very nicely, very pleasingly to Guru, Vaishnavas and Krishna. Hare Krishna. So the verse is on the screen and we will first read it out, followed by translation and purport, and then by the empowerment of Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas, we'll speak a little something, followed by discussion, questions and answers. Vachan, let's first begin with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Vacham Juhava Manasi Tat Prana Itare Chatam Mrityav Apanam Sotsargam Tam Panchatvehi Ajo Havet. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then he amalgamated all the sense organs into the mind, then the mind into life, life into breathing, his total existence into the embodiment of the five elements, and his body into death. Then, as pure self, he became free from the material conception of life. Purport. Maharaj Yudhishthir, like his brother Arjun, began to concentrate and gradually became freed from all material bondage. First, he concentrated all the actions of the senses and amalgamated them into the mind, or in other words, he turned his mind toward the transcendental service of the Lord. He prayed that since all material activities are performed by the mind in terms of actions and reactions of the material senses, and since he was going back to Godhead, the mind would wind up its material activities and be turned towards the transcendental service to the Lord. There was no longer a need for material activities. Actually, the activities of the mind cannot be stopped, for they are the reflection of the eternal soul. But the quality of the activities can be changed from matter to the transcendental service of the Lord. The material color of the mind is changed when one washes it clean of the contaminations of life breathing and thereby frees it from the contamination of repeated births and deaths and situates it in pure spiritual life. All is manifested by the temporary embodiment of the material body, which is a production of the mind at the time of death. And if the mind is purified by practice of transcendental loving service to the Lord and is constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, there is no more chance of the mind's producing another material body after death. It will be freed from absorption in material contamination. The pure soul will be able to return home back to Godhead. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Raghunathan with Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Chandramauli Swami Niti Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, who is speaking? I mean, about whom are we speaking over here? This is Maharaj Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir Maharaj, after coming to know that Lord Krishna has left the planet, loses all interest in being here because he understands that there is no greater gain for a spirit soul than to rejoin the Lord where he is, which is the spiritual world, because that's where he has gone. And so, just like Arjuna purified himself by concentrating on the lotus feet of the Lord and the form of the Lord, similarly, Yudhishthir Maharaj now gathered up all his senses to bring them to the lotus feet of the Lord. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, all these are senses which pull us in different directions all the time. Material activities go on all the time. And so he wants to withdraw his senses from all material engagements and engage them simply in what? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. 9 processes of devotional service. And so he withdraws his senses and slowly purifies his mind so that it is completely absorbed in the loving service of the Lord. And this is actually the final exam. All of us are going to come to that point where we will be facing that final test. So we are actually getting a glimpse into how it is to be done. Like it says over here, he concentrated all the actions of senses, amalgamated them into the mind. That is, he turned his mind toward the transcendental service of the Lord. Now, you may say, how it is possible? It is possible by practicing. So because Maharaj Yudhishthir was a very self-controlled personality and he had attained self-realization, so now he took it up one notch, completely withdrew even from his material duties as a king. All the different designations, we just spoke about that in the previous verse. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself tells us to do this. Just look at this verse. Very famous verse. Yahi samsparshaja bhoga te adiyantavanta kaunteya natyashteshu ramate buddhaha. What is Krishna explaining here? He says, an intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, so the wise man does not delight in them. And Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful example of taking a fish out of water and putting it on the land and offering him all kinds of nice, foodstuffs, a beautiful silken bedspread, chamara fan. You think the fish is going to be happy? No, he just wants to be back in the water. And just today, interestingly, in the morning, this verse was being discussed over here. So I want to read that particular part out because it is so graphic. In this verse, the word avitripta drisham is most significant. The conditioned souls in the material world are all trying to satisfy their senses in various ways, but they have failed to do so because it is impossible to be satisfied by such efforts. The example of the fish on the land is very appropriate. If one takes a fish from the water and puts it on the land, it cannot be made happy by any amount of offered pleasure. The spirit soul can be happy only in the association of the Supreme Living Being, the personality of Godhead, and nowhere else. And so, the spirit soul only needs Krishna. The Lord, by his unlimited causeless mercy, has innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the Brahma Jyoti of the spiritual world. And in that transcendental world, there is an unlimited arrangement for the unlimited pleasure of the living entities. You might say, what is that pleasure which is unlimited, ever increasing happiness? And that is the happiness of loving Krishna, serving Krishna in our pure spiritual mind and body. Intelligence, everything purified, senses purified, everything purified. So the Lord comes to perform his pastimes here and attract our mind towards him so that we may desire to go back to him and attain that highest stage of perfection. So all the Vedic rituals are meant for that reason. And how can we attain that state? By strict adherence to the prescribed principles for all orders of social life. One can attain the qualities of truthfulness, control of the mind, control of the senses, forbearance, and be elevated to the plane of rendering pure devotional service to the Lord. Only by such a transcendental vision are one's material hankerings fully satisfied. So we are not going to be able to satisfy our material hankerings no matter how much we try in this material world. And golly, how much we try. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, we try so many things. I will change my job. I will go on a vacation. I will change my hairdo. I will go for a makeover. I will change my girlfriend or boyfriend. So many things we try. I will move to another location. I will change my wardrobe. I will do this. I'm constantly looking for that satisfaction by changing. And we never get satisfied. We're just looking for the next fix, so to speak. But when we come to Krishna consciousness and we understand the futility of repeatedly doing this, an intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, but applies himself to where the real happiness is, which is devotional service to the Lord. As Srila Prabhupada explained, then one comes back to one's normal, happy position. Because that's the only position in which we can truly be happy. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we can only be happy in the spiritual energy serving Krishna. So the more we absorb ourselves, the more we control our mind and senses, and the more and more concentrated our love and our service becomes, guess what happens? We are reaching that stage of pure devotional service, and all our senses and mind and intelligence, body, everything is getting purified. And in the end, we will go back home, back to Godhead. Yes, this is the promise. Krishna himself makes this promise. He says, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Let's look at that. That is 1864, I believe. Let me just check. If I'm not mistaken, it is 18th chapter. Either it's 64 or 65. 65, yes. After that is the famous Sarva Dharman Parityajya. So it is 65. Yeah, here we go. Always think of me, become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Krishna is promising this. And Krishna makes a promise. He holds himself to his own word. His promise is not like our promise. Oh, did I promise that? Really? Oh, golly, now it's inconvenient. So sorry, I can't. This is our Kali Yuga promise. But Krishna is not like that. Once he gives his word, he keeps his word. So, if we do these four things, we will become more and more absorbed in Krishna. We will go back to Krishna. And therefore, in this purport, it is mentioned, one should always act in such a way that all his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout the 24 hours, he cannot but think of Krishna. And then, what is the result? And the Lord's promise is that anyone who is in such pure Krishna consciousness will certainly return to the abode of Krishna, where he will be engaged in the association of Krishna face to face. This most confidential part of knowledge is spoken to Arjuna because he is the dear friend of Krishna. And now is the good news. Everyone who follows the path of Arjuna can become a dear friend to Krishna and obtain the same perfection as Arjuna. Haribol! And Srila Prabhupada has made this available to us in his mercy. So we are very blessed to know the way back home, back to Godhead. So let's go back to the verse. Okay. So actually, activities of the mind cannot be stopped. We know that even in our sleep state, the mind is constantly active, dreaming, thinking so many things. We see tiger, we see lion, we see golden mountain, we see a fairy, we see, demon, we see so many things. And then when we wake up, there's no such thing. It's all concoctions of the mind. So the mind is the storehouse of all the experiences we have had of so many lifetimes, and this is what carries us to the next body. That's why it's called the manufacturing unit. Our mind, our present mind, is going to take us to the next body. Therefore, if we make our mind spiritual, then our next body will be spiritual. If we are mixed devotees, which we are at the moment, we are trying to purify ourselves, then what happens is, if we remain in that mixed state, our desires, our attachments, our likes, our dislikes will manufacture such a body where those things again manifest. So therefore, it is so important to completely cleanse the mind. Mind is changed when one washes it clean of the contaminations of life breathing and thereby frees it from the contamination of repeated birth and death and situates it in pure spiritual life. So, even though we change bodies at the time of death, we don't change our mind. Our mind just comes along. That's why suddenly you might recall something of a previous life, and suddenly it may feel very familiar, even though you have entered that place in this lifetime for the first time. You look around and say, I know this place. I've been here before. And your mom and dad and brothers and say, hey, this is our first trip over here. What are you talking about? We have never come here before. But you know that this place is very familiar because in some lifetime you have visited this place. That is recall. That is why reincarnation is a fact of life. People don't know that, but it is true that our soul has gone through many, many, many different lives and many, many different situations. And the mind is the one which brings us to the next life. Therefore, mind has to be purified. And mind is purified by practice of transcendental loving service to the Lord. And if it's constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, there is no more chance of the mind producing another material body after death. It will be completely freed from absorption and material contamination, and the pure soul will be able to return home back to Godhead. So, Bhuta Bhavana Prabhu some weeks ago gave a very nice class. He says, I'm going to stop share right now and just explain this point. He says that the intelligent person prepares for the inevitable so that there is the best possible outcome. I thought that line was so significant. That we know the inevitable is coming. We know that death is coming to the body. Death is just change of body. So what kind of body we are going to get depends on the quality of life we are experiencing and practicing now. So the more we absorb ourselves in the spiritual energy, less and less we will be absorbed in the material energy. Right now we may be like 50-50 or 60-40 or, some such proportion. But the more and more we increase the spiritual nature of our activities, the less and less and less material contamination will be there. And until we are completely washed clear, we have work to do. We have work to do. And that work can be done by this process of Harinam Sankirtan and engaging in the 9 processes of devotional service to free ourselves of the contamination of the moods of material nature and the pullings and the pushings of the mind and the senses, because the senses are always demanding something or the other. Give me food. The tongue is wanting to taste many nice things. The eyes are waiting to see, oh, beautiful sari, beautiful purse, beautiful girl, beautiful boy, beautiful scene. Eyes are always wanting something new, something different. Same for the ear. We are always waiting to hear something different, something new. Like this goes on. But why not transfer all that to hearing about Krishna, seeing Krishna, tasting Krishna Prasadam, vibrating Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and becoming joyful. Yesterday, Guru Maharaj did a home program, and I was just marveling later on how wonderful it becomes in the association of devotees when the same activity, just a birthday party, it was that lady of the house, it was her birthday party. Now, the Karmis, they do birthday parties too, right? They all gather together because that's the natural instinct. Man is a social animal. They all come together, they either cook nice food or they order some food from outside. They light up the place. They have all decorations and balloons and this and that and whatnot. And then they have some music going, and they have a band and they have dancing and this and that. But at the end, what happens? They're all tired, they're worn out, and there is no satisfaction for the soul. But here, in this Krishna conscious gathering, it was so beautiful. All those balloons and streamers, etc. Instead, the altar was decorated so beautifully. There was Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and there was Prabhupada, and the whole altar was decorated with fragrant lilies and red roses so tastefully that I was just looking and looking and looking at the altar and feeling so pleased simply by that beautiful sight. That sight was so beautiful, very tastefully done. And Mataji had made such nice arrangements, such nice arrangements. Of course, there was a beautiful garland for Guru Maharaj. She had asked some very nice kirtaniyas to come. So the kirtan was very melodious, very sweet, very devotional. And then she had ordered the same lily and red rose garland for all her guests. So each of us got to wear a very nice, beautiful, fragrant smelling garland. And then she had ordered a very nice feast. Guru Maharaj cut the cake for all of us in the end after a nice kirtan, very nice talk. And we had such a wonderful time that we can't forget. Even today, I'm recalling it was so nice. Dheeraj Prabhu was in total ecstasy. He had come straight from Kolkata, straight into the birthday program. And I was thinking to myself, Krishna is just welcoming him to the Dham with the best possible welcome, a birthday party. And it was all so enjoyable, so celebratory, and so tastefully done, and with such enjoyment of all the senses. So it's not that we don't have sense gratification. We have super good sense gratification, even better than what they have. So then, when people say, oh, you're restricted from eating this, you don't drink coffee, tea, this, but we have a higher taste. We have much better drinks. We have much better food. We have much better taste. And so many wonderful things to eat and drink and hear and see and enjoy. So this is our sense gratification. And the more and more we absorb ourselves, and Kirtan was excellent. It was such a night to remember. For months together, we are not going to forget how nicely Mataji put so much love and devotion into making it such a nice program for her guests. Really very nice. So the same birthday party, which other people just enjoy and then they get sometimes maybe even a hangover because drinks are served and everybody gets a headache next morning, or they're even sick actually, and all kinds of nasty things happen. Sometimes brawls break out between people because they're drunk and now they are just fighting with one another and the whole party turns sour. Instead, a Krishna conscious birthday party was something which was memorable and relishable. And this is what happens as we go in Krishna consciousness. We start relishing Krishna consciousness. We get that higher taste, which makes it very wonderful and very enjoyable, and we want to do more of it. This is how Krishna attracts us more and more and more. So, to bring us back to this particular purport, Yudhishthir Maharaj successfully transformed all his life air, his senses, his breathing, and then as pure self, he became free from the material conception of life. This is what we need to try and do too, so that we can progress towards the goal of life, which is to go back home, back to Godhead, and be with Krishna face to face. And Srila Prabhupada promised this. He said that if you do all this very faithfully, the day will come when you will see Krishna face to face. And that's not a small thing. That's a very big thing to see God. To see God face to face is not a small thing. But we have been given that process. And if we are faithfully following it, maybe it'll take a few lifetimes. But as long as we stay on track, the day will come when we will be back home, back with Krishna. So thank you all so much for listening patiently. We will open up for comments, questions, corrections, discussion. And it will be very nice if you put on your cameras so we can see you all. Yes, Shilpesh Prabhu, go for it.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Prabhupada.
Please accept mine. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev. And I really apologize for all the flickering and the blank screens and things like that. I just have no control over the flickering power supply and therefore the flickering internet. Please forgive me for that.
Okay, we haven't noticed any disturbances, so I don't know, it seems okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my question was, this process of Maharaj Yudhishthira about withdrawing the senses and being fully absorbed in Krishna with his mind, it sounds very much like a yogic process compared to like yard practicing.
The yogis, they dwell only on the Paramatma feature of Krishna. They dwell on the super soul within the heart. They do not know the Bhagavan feature of God. They do not know Krishna as a person. They do not know the two-handed original form of Krishna. They're focused on the four-handed Narayan form of Krishna. And their desire to focus on this form is in order to gain mystic powers. So they have some motive, they want to get something by the power of their meditation. While devotees, they have a loving relationship with Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, Adi Deva, and their only motive is to render pure, loving, devotional service unto him. They have no personal desire of any kind. I don't want to become as powerful as Vishwamitra Muni. I don't want to have mystic powers. I don't want to manufacture things out of thin air. I just want to serve Krishna. And my happiness is in serving Krishna very pleasingly because I become very happy. But even if I'm not happy, I still want to serve Krishna. Because sometimes we may be happy, sometimes we may not be happy. Because we are still on the material platform. So sometimes the mind will say, why do I have to do this? Do I have to do this? Yes, I have to. Oh, no. So sometimes we even do it grudgingly, So, but the fact that we are doing it, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that you do it at 4 different levels. Out of fear, people sometimes worship God out of fear. Then second is out of duty. Third is out of love. And that is the highest. Yeah, only three as far as I can remember. So when we do it out of love, there is a special taste. You see, just like a parent, he becomes very happy when his child is happy. He doesn't look so much for his own enjoyment. He's happy when his kid is happy. Similarly, when we please Krishna, we actually become happy. It is actually in our best interest to try to please Krishna, because it is in giving that we receive. It is in dying that we gain eternal life. You know, the famous word of the Bible, it is true. You see in your own personal life also, we are more happy when our loved ones are happy. Isn't it? But the same principle is there, that when Vaishnavas are happy, when Guru is happy, when Krishna is happy, we also become happy. So the yogic process is very different from the bhakta's process. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for
Yeah, and feel free to ask Guru Maharaj also, so that you gain perfect, knowledge and clarity and understanding. It's always a good idea to check with Gurudev. That will completely satisfy your heart.
Thank you. And how is your father doing?
His ECG was a little off, so the doctors admitted him in the hospital for a day. Luckily, his heart didn't show any signs of a heart attack or ischemia or anything. They just said it looks like you didn't react well to a medication which was changed by his GP, and that's the reason why his BP suddenly dropped. And he seems to be doing fine. I've been checking on him every few hours. He says, I'm just fine. I'm just here for observation. And most likely I'll go back home tomorrow. So I'm staying on top of it. I'll be ready to fly out in a jiffy if required. But he seems to be doing well. Thank you all so much for your prayers. I cannot thank my God family enough for praying for him, because that just changes everything. He has had so many skirmishes, and every time my fervent and earnest appeals for prayers have turned things around. So I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Oh, I see Sonal Mataji is here. Hare Krishna, Sonalji.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I'm traveling, so I can't keep my video on all the phone calls.
No problem. It's just nice to see your effulgent smile. Even
Thank you so much. When your classes are always quite nice, it puts back the smile on the faces.
Well, it makes me smile to have you all on the class. So I guess it's because of you all that I'm smiling, and then seeing me smiling, it makes you smile. Like that. Guru Maharaj gives a very nice explanation. When Krishna sees beautiful Radha and her beautiful lotus face and how beautiful it is, his face starts blooming because he becomes so happy. And then when Radha sees Krishna smiling and his face blossoming with happiness and how beautiful it is, she becomes more beautiful and more happy. Then seeing her, he becomes more, and so it just goes on like that. So Vaishnavas also have that same mood.
Mataji, can I quickly ask one small question, please?
Please, we are here for that. You're honored by asking a question.
Well, I always wonder, all of us devotees, why did not we get attracted to all these other paths, and why did we choose this particular path?
We did. In previous lifetimes, we surely must have gone through all those different points, because Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. And in that, he mentioned, in that purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that one has to undergo much penance before one comes to this point. And many times we have gone through many, many paths before understanding that Krishna is everything. And then we take to this path. So it is not so easy. We have not just come to it just like that. We have performed devotional service in previous lifetime after understanding Krishna's supremacy, and therefore in this lifetime we have taken it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice question. Do you see the flickering of the screen and it's suddenly going blank? You don't see anything, huh?
No, it's working fine. I can see it flashing in your glasses in the reflection.
Oh, because I'm
Right.
seeing it flickering and then going off, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for this.
That's
Yeah, so
just
you're seeing it in my
your
glasses, but you're not seeing the actual thing. Well, that's good. I'm happy you're spared of this torment. So we also have Srimati, who is in Florida, and with ISKCON Alachua devotees. We have Vishwapavani from Slovenia. We have Scarlett Mataji from Sweden. Any questions? Any comments? Hare Krishna to you too.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Shri Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. I don't have any questions, Mataji. Thank you so much for the class. We are driving to Orlando morning, so we are on the way. I just wanted to listen to the class and join. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Safe travels.
Thank you.
And wonderful time. And come back safely back home.
Yes, Mataji.
Very good.
Hare
Are you
Krishna.
going to visit? Are you going to visit Bhakti Charu Maharaj's farm?
Yes, Mataji.
It's-
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
We are going on 27th, I think. Yeah, 27th.
Okay.
Wednesday we are going there.
Very nice. Please take photographs and videos and then just give us a little report how things are, because Maharaj was really very keen that that farm project comes up and his disciples are taking it up seriously.
Yes, Mataji.
Dilano, something like
D-land.
that. D-land, right.
Mm.
D-land. Yeah, please let us know how it was.
Sure. Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
is Guru Maharaj Mayapur now?
Yes, he's in Mayapur right now. And Dheeraj Prabhu has come all the way from Kolkata to be with Guru Maharaj and serve Guru Maharaj. So that's nice. He's also being served by Mana Mataji, and she's going to get initiated on God Purnima Day along with Namrata. So everyone is invited to come to Mayapur for God Purnima and attend the program. It will be very nice to have you all. Who else is here? Mana Mataji's husband basically is, taking a very active role because the gents are allowed to go in and out and all that. That's Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Das. And then Maharaj has a servant, Rakim, in the Mayapur Institute where he's staying. And yesterday's mother, Samidatri, left Mayapur to go back to Slovenia. Until yesterday, she was here. So let's see who else is there. Yeah, that's it. Dheeraj Prabhu is here. Okay, if there are no further questions or comments or anything further to discuss, we can stop here. That's all right. And we will meet again tomorrow. Vanjakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Vishwapavani. Thank you all so much for coming on the call, because Guru Maharaj is so particular that we should always, be speaking something and hearing something about Srimad Bhagavatam. He doesn't like it if we don't, if we skip. So Srimati is really very keen that somehow or the other we should continue the classes. And so I'm humbly trying to serve Srimati by trying to serve Gurudev.
Thank you, Mataji. But yesterday, I couldn't run the class. That's why I thought I canceled the yesterday's class. But yeah, thank you so much for doing it today. And I just want to give a quick announcement that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days, class will be 1 hour later because Guru Maharaj wanted to do the class like 6:30 p.m. IST, which will be 1 p.m. UK time. Devotees, please note, I'll put the message in the WhatsApp group too. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for only this week. Thank you
So
so
that
much.
means tomorrow, day after, and the day after that, because today is already
Yes.
Monday here.
Yeah, so
tomorrow,
Tuesday,
day
Wednesday,
after, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it will be at
Thursday.
6:30 p.m. IST. Okay,
Yes,
got it.
Mataji. Thank you so
Okay,
much. Hare
thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Hare Bo. So we'll end the call here and wish you a very good evening or good morning or good afternoon, as the case may be.